Hey, it's Dr. Tangie Great, and welcome to Grate Conversations, where me and you will talk about living well, meaningful relationships, and small practices to shape a good life. If any of those things sound good to you, I want you to join this community. So remember to like, share this with a friend, maybe two, and subscribe. Come on, I know I got something good to tell you. Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of Grate Conversations with me, your host, Dr. Tangie. And can you believe that 5 episodes have gone? I am coming back from my 1 week break, and I think that's how the flow is going to go. I'm going to give 5 episodes, maybe four if the topic is very short. Take a little break, come back just to recalibrate, take a breather because it's no need to try to keep up with the Joneses. And by the Joneses, I mean like other podcasts that I really admire, but I have to remember that those other podcasts have been podcasting longer than me, and also their work schedule is very different than mine. Like right now, I'm recording late at night. AJ is sleeping. It's a Thursday night. I am tired, but I am here recording because I love this. I also have to say that the sound is not sounding for me right now. You probably don't even notice it, but my mic decided it didn't want to work today. So that was hella annoying. But anyway, we will carry on because I have a message that I want to share with you. So, of course, we know the first 5 episodes were the architecture of joy. I broke down joy into little small bite-sized pieces, and we are going to do the same thing with this next set, which I like to call it the we're going to get it. We're going to get it. It's reciprocal, but I'm trying to say reciprocity. There we go. The reciprocity standard. And here's the question. It's late, so I'm going to look on my phone so I don't get it wrong. What reciprocity actually means in relationships? So that is the core question that I ask myself when thinking about relationships and what they mean and how to break them down. And I feel like in our 30s or as we get older, specifically for women, reciprocity, feeling like things are reciprocal, keep on coming up. And so that question came in my mind. So I came up with these things to break it down that I really feel like this is what makes relationships feel reciprocal. Is the first thing honesty, communication, self-regulation, grace, and accountability. So I believe that these 5 things really make you just feel warm, fuzzy, connected in a relationship. And when all these things are working together, your relationship feels reciprocal. And I wouldn't say that I am the reciprocal expert because there has been times where I have not been as reciprocal as my friends have been to me. However, friendship is something that I feel like I've kind of mastered because I am proud to say that in my 34 years of life, I've only had one major friendship breakup, and it happened in my youth. And when I say my youth, like maybe in high school, right when I was getting ready to go away to college, I'll never forget. Her name is Ani Fletcher. I don't even know if she listens to this right now, but if you've been friends with me for a while, you know me and Ani used to go like this, okay? We used to live down the block from each other. She was the first friend that I got into a fight with, the first friend that I said, I'm not your friend anymore. And then somewhere along the way, our paths just took a different turn and we split. And we didn't like have a nasty falling out or anything. We just don't communicate at all anymore. Not on social media, not on Facebook, which is part of social media. Not like we kind of did a little bit, but we just kind of fell off. And this is not me to say that I am trying to rekindle that relationship, even though I would be open to it if it came up. This is just to say that when it comes to me and relationships and friendships, I know how to hold on to them, even if they change, they shift, and that's what we're going to get in today. So keep that in mind. What makes relationship feels reciprocal? That's the big overarching question. And the reciprocity standard, there's 5 things that make things feel reciprocal. Again, honesty, communication, self regulation, grace, and accountability. So, today I am going to talk about grace, allowing people to be human. For people who love a good title or you skipped all the fluff, that is going to be the title of the episode. Oh, before I forget, this is a special episode because this is episode number 6, which means that you have been rocking with me for 5 times in a row. And I feel like if you really love me, which I know you do, go ahead and do something special. I want you to send this episode right now. Stop what you're doing if you're not driving. Send this episode to 5 people you know, 5 girlfriends, 5 guy friends, even though this really is for the girls, but there's some guys that might listen to it. Send this episode to 5 friends that you know, or even better, like another person or another friend that you want to become closer with. Like, when it comes to reciprocity, you've been lacking, and send it to them. Now, I was thinking to mine, you should send it to someone that you feel like they have been lacking, but accountability is a big thing. And I would, like, we all know that being reciprocal is something that we all can work on. So do that for me. Send it to 5 people, whether you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts or watch this on YouTube. If you are listening to this on Apple Podcasts, make sure you're always clicking the little save button and save it and leave a comment. I love your comments. They keep me going. It helps people find me more, people interact. So maybe you don't have 5 people. Maybe sharing the podcast is something awkward. You don't usually do that. Leave a comment, leave a comment 5 different times, either on YouTube or on Apple Podcasts, about what episode was your favorite, what you liked, all the things. Okay, now that that's done, we're getting back into it. Grace. And I feel like when it comes to grace, I have a whole new understanding of grace and friendships. And I know I talked about this before, but it's so true. Like, after experiencing a heavy, close loss, it has completely altered everything I think about friendship. And grace is one of those things where I feel like I've always been good at it, but grace in a friendship, this is how I define it. I'm closing my eyes so I don't get distracted and I can make sure that I'm saying it right. When I think about grace in a friendship, if I call you a friend, it means that I always assume that even if you do something to hurt my feelings, you you didn't do it intentionally. Like, I don't believe in having friends that, like, have, like, who are secretly jealous of you or things like that. That hasn't been my experience in girlhood, which I know it exists. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but if we call ourselves friends, I operate from a place of thinking that you would never do anything to hurt me on purpose. So if you hurt my feelings, it was unintentionally. And if it really stung, then we can have a conversation about it. And that's how I view grace in friendships. It may be naive, like I said, but I think it allows me to give people the benefit of the doubt, especially if they do something that makes me feel betrayed or undervalued or unappreciated. I look at it from that lens, and simply because I know that I'm not always the best friend, so I like to give that as an equation. And I don't really hear, like, for us in the 30s club, I hear a lot about friendships breaking up or letting people go that no longer fit. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that necessarily, but I would like to think of it as like shifting things around, like everyone in your life isn't always going to be like in that inner ring of friendship, but that doesn't make them any less valuable. Like, I think that's one of the reasons why I feel like I have such a wide net of different little friendship groups, because when I'm in that friendship group, I'm in that friendship group. And when I'm out of that friendship group and we don't talk as much, it's okay. I don't feel like I'm being slighted because I don't necessarily feel like I want to give anymore. I'm not going to give anymore. Hopefully that's making sense what I'm saying. I feel like I'm kind of going all over the place. But that was one of the ideas that came to me while I was driving. And I was like, what is it, Tangie, that you're able to like maintain so many different relationships, particularly with women, and they just be cool and good vibes? And I believe that grace is one of those things. Also tying into grace, I now got my train of thought back, is accepting people for who that they are. I know that can be separate from grace, but we're gonna tie that in because I only got five, things. And once I accept you for who you are, that means I accept all of you. So if there is a part of you that is annoying or maybe a little weird, or maybe I don't understand why you operate that way, that doesn't mean that I'm just going to write you off and not be your friend anymore. That just means that's who you are. And if I'm saying I want to be your friend, I want to be in a relationship with you, I want to be in community with you, I just accept that part of you and we keep it pushing. And if there's a boundary that I need to put up for myself, then I put it up. Because I hear so much about boundaries in friendships. And sometimes I feel like we use the word boundary to control another person. Like, I'm trying to think of an example. Like, you know how someone's like, you're in an argument and they'd be like, oh, you're crossing my boundaries. But in my mind, I'm like, well, boundaries are for you. They're not for other people. And I got that concept from, oh, I can't think of her name right now, but she's a therapist. And she has this book about boundaries. I can see her face, but I cannot think of her name right now. It's gonna kill me. It's gonna kill me. And it's a video and a visual podcast, so I don't want to stop to look it up because I'm the only one talking. So we're just gonna let it go. Anyways, once she said that boundaries are for you and not other people, you don't necessarily have to tell someone that they're crossing your boundary. You could just like end it or not put yourself in that situation. That's kind of like what I do. Like, there's certain situations or certain groups or things or activities that I may not do with a certain friend or a certain group of friends because I don't like the way it is. It makes me feel weird. And there's nothing against them. I just don't do it. I remove myself. I don't try to change who they are. And I feel like a lot of time in friendships, we like to use this word boundary to try to control what the other person is doing rather than just removing ourselves from the situation. And you can remove yourself from the situation without having to be like all grandiose, like I'm removing myself from this situation. You can literally just disengage without having to say anything. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I think there is value in every different type of friendship. And just because a friendship isn't in your inner circle at that time doesn't necessarily mean that they're less valuable. And every friendship isn't going to be a core friendship at every different times of your life. There have been different times of my life where certain friendships have meant the world to me, like talking all the time, talking every day. And there's been times where they shift and they change. And because I approach everything with grace, when that shift happens, I don't take it personal. I'm not assuming like, oh, they're not reaching out because they're mad at me or they have some vendetta against me or anything like that. It's just it changed. And the change is sometimes hurtful. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't hurt my feelings, but I had to realize, and we'll go deeper about that with accountability, is like, sometimes when it comes to things being reciprocal, you have to be honest about what you're willing to give. And so if there's something in a relationship that can be improved, it takes both people to want to work on it. And you got to be honest with yourself and be like, you know what? I don't actually want to work on this even more. How it is just fine with me because I don't have anything more to give. And that's cool. And if the other person doesn't like it, then you would hope that if you're friends, they can come to you in a way and say, hey, I don't like you. And you can come to some type of, realization about that. There's another thing I want to talk about. One more thing. Let me make sure that I did it. We're not going to talk about it later. Give me a second. No, we'll talk about more of that about honesty. Okay, I think that's it. This is short and sweet. I'm tired, honestly. I don't have really anything left to say about friendship. But if friendship is something, oh, okay, actually, I changed my mind. There is one more thing I wanted to say. And I believe that when you have grace or you approach humans, like let's not even say like new friends, because a lot of people talk about how making friends as you get older is harder. And I do understand that point of view because you're more busy, and proximity is usually how you make a lot of your core friends because you're around each other all the time. And when you're older, proximity is harder. However, when you operate from the place of if you want someone to be your friend or just assuming that no one is ever going to do anything to hurt you on purpose, until proven otherwise. Obviously, if they've shown you that they are a jealous person, or then they're not a good friend to have. But being open to friendships being like not super deep, I don't know. I don't. Let me just pause for a second so I can really say what I want to say. I have made two really good friends later on in my life. One of them, their name is Portia, and the other one is Tiffany. I'm sure they won't mind. But I met them after college, way after college. And of course, it was through my husband, Anthony, his friends, who they are one, they're married to, the other one, they're engaged. And I think that the reason how I was able to be good friends, like be able to form those relationships, is really from having grace. And I didn't say this, I was going to talk about this more with honesty, but I think grace also, another part that I'm forgetting, is being able to apologize. And I feel like that is something that I have gotten better with as it comes with age. But I think about a particular conversation that I had with a friend. And I'm gonna say it hurt out with a friend. I'm gonna just say Portia. It's fine. She won't care if I say her name. And I had made a comment about feeling that my birthday wasn't special or something along the lines, and it really like hurt her feelings because she had she always goes above and beyond to show up, and she had felt like she had showed up for that birthday I was referring to, and it hurt her feelings in a nutshell. And at that moment I remember feeling like, initially my first feeling was annoyed because I was like, I wasn't even like, you'd be so self concerned about your own feelings. I was thinking, I'm not even talking about you. And how many times does that happen when your friend brings something to you that's a conflict and you don't think that it's a big deal, but it's a big deal to them? And the first thing you feel is annoyed, right? And then I sat with it for a second and I was just like, oh, I hurt her feelings. And I never meant to hurt her feelings on purpose. And I just apologized. I sent the message at first and I was like, I'm sorry, but I wasn't talking about you. I was like to go into this long explanation. But then I was like, I don't really need to even go into that long explanation. She's my friend. I hurt her feelings. It wasn't my intent to hurt her feelings. I'm sorry. I didn't want to make you feel that way. I wasn't clear in how I was expressing it. It really was about me and not about what you did. And I didn't want you to feel unappreciated. And what I love about Portia is she has helped me because she's not afraid of conflict. And I know that's something that sometimes I don't bring stuff up because if I know I'm not ready to change anything and I don't think the other person's going to change anything, then I don't feel like there's a need to bring it up. But being friends with her has made me a better friend to just learn how to just apologize. And there's another situation with my other friend saying, same thing, like I had said something and I wasn't intending to hurt feelings, but I did. And I just had to apologize. And I feel like being able to just apologize for hurting someone's feeling, even if you know that wasn't your intent, just being able to say, I'm sorry, and just let it at that. And I feel like as a parent, you hear about that a lot because, I'm the new school parent, so I apologize to AJ. But apology is just saying, I'm sorry for doing that to you and not being like, I'm sorry, but I did this because you did that. Because when someone does that to you, it feels kind of shitty, like feels like, oh, you're not really apologizing at all. You're just doing the act of saying I'm sorry for the act of it all. Okay, not really. That's it. That's all I have to say about that. Tune in next time. Hopefully, I have a new mic. But before we go, I do want to tell you about one great thing I'm loving this month. Let me get, if you can get close up. Lawless. Particularly the gloss. If you're looking and you're saying, dang, Tangie, your lips look real hydrated, I'm going to put some more on. If you're listening to this, you can't see me. I just put lip gloss on. But it's Lawless. Now, this has been the trending lip gloss. However, I have not seen the girls talk about Velvet. And if your skin tone is anything like mine, very brown, very dark skin, very clear, then Velvet, you need her, okay? You need her real bad. And honestly, I went to shop the Sephora sale, and I really went in there for the viral, like, Edam shaved ice. But of course, y'all bought it all up. And the girl who helped me, she was like, I'm really loving Velvet right now. And I'm so glad that she told me about it because it was plenty of Velvet left. And I feel like nobody was really talking about Velvet. So if you're in the same situation like me and you love a good pinky clear type gloss and you went in to get the Edam glosses, but they ran out, go ahead and check out Lawless Velvet. Here, this is what it looks like for the people watching. But it's so cutesy. And that's it. Of course, living well does not happen by accident. And ask yourself this one question: what can you do to either be better at reciprocation relationships or this is leave it at that. What can you do to be better at being reciprocal in your relationships? Okay, I love you. I see you next week. Bye.